2005 Friends and Family, 2025 regular release. Which one do you think is better? What's up, sneaker people? It's your boy FB Kicks and Gear, and I am back with another video. And this is going to be a very untraditional video because, let's be real here, there's about $30,000 worth of sneaker in front of the camera right now. Well, not really. Both of these are replicas, but the difference is that this is a rep of the Friends and Family Jordan 4 Undefeateds that released back in, I want to say 2005 or 2006. This was the very first Jordan collab shoe. Not many people know that. And this is the 2025 re-release that is set to come out in August, or is it the end of July? I don't remember, but they're coming out soon. So while I have both of these shoes here, I did a video on this shoe last year, and I just got these in because I plan on doing a legit check guide for the new release. So while I have both of these in hand, I kind of wanted to go through the differences of what the 2005 original, one of the original Jordan 4 Undefeateds look like compared to the next one coming out. And this is the first time I've had them side by side, and I'm seeing some differences that I didn't anticipate. So this is probably the closest that anyone's gonna get to a true comparison outside of somebody super famous who's got $30,000 to drop on shoes. Will do, but this is what I can do. This is what I can offer up to the community. And while obviously both of them being replicas, this isn't a true one-to-one comparison. Both of them are based on two separate iterations of the Jordan 4 Undefeated. So I figured doing a side-by-side comparison would be pretty cool, and we can inform ourselves on what the differences are. So while this is mostly a discussion video, remember that this pair is releasing soon, and you can find pictures of the new release on the Instagram account that's going to pop up on the screen. Remember, the details matter. Even this early, understanding what to look for on replicas can help you spot them and not get scammed. So remember that. Check out the Instagram account that's going to pop up on the screen. So let's get into this video. Now, my goal is to actually kind of compare and contrast the differences between what was the original Jordan 4 Undefeated that came out back in 2005. And when I say came out, I don't really mean came out as in like a regular release, because it wasn't. There were about 72 released, and I believe most of them went to Friends and Family, and they raffled off a few to a couple of people in the area of the Undefeated store. And I actually remember someone on Nike Talk way back when actually winning that raffle, and he wore his pair for years and sold it for a massive profit. So shout out to him. That's actually pretty cool. But as you guys know, we are getting a re-release, and it's not a true retro because obviously, looking at these, there are differences, but it is still a dope ass shoe, and I am very excited. This is probably my most anticipated shoe of 2025, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. But doing a side-by-side comparison, there's a lot that I'm seeing that I did not initially anticipate, and I didn't realize how different these were. Now, a lot of people might not know this, but there are more than one version of the Jordan 4 Undefeated that have come out before we even touched the 2025 version. I believe there were 3 that came out in 2005, or I should say there were 3 samples in 2005, and only one of those samples ended up actually releasing via raffle to a very few select customers, and then the rest were given out Friends and Family. And then there were 2 more samples released in 2017 that never made it out anywhere outside of the Jordan Brand sample room and a few, very in the know sneaker people in the culture. So there are a couple of different older versions of the Jordan 4 Undefeated, and I'll post a picture here. The 2025 version obviously draws inspiration from probably a mixture of all of them, but they are pretty different, and I was not expecting this at all until I saw them side by side. one of the things that we got to get out of the way is that these Jordan 4 Undefeateds are very different from what the modern Jordan 4 looks like, because these are a replica of a 2006 or 2005, 2006 era Jordan 4. And there were a lot of differences back then. Back then, they had a very, very flat tongue, which you can see here. See how thin that is? While modern Jordan 4s have definitely thickened up the tongue there. You can see the difference. Another thing that was different on the Jordan 4s from back then is that the netting was actually like attached to that back mesh, so you couldn't really separate them. And it wasn't until I want to say 2012 or so, that iteration of Jordan 4s, where we started seeing netting with the mesh and the netting being separate and not attached to each other. So look at that side by side. You've got like this honeycomb pattern, which is interesting, versus the more traditional net that we're used to seeing on modern Jordan 4s. So that's super interesting too. It's definitely interesting that a replica company would go out of their way to replicate a detail like that, because I would think that they would just release these with slightly different colors, but they didn't. So that's shout out to them, I guess. In this case, accuracy mattered the most, so they did that. So that's impressive. Another thing that was interesting about Jordan 4s from that era is the overall shape. You can see that the Jordan 4s had a thicker toe box compared to the modern ones that are trying to approach what the Jordan 4s look like when they first released. So I got to give Nike credit for that. But the 2006 era was a wild time for shape. And while this isn't the bulkiest toe box, it's definitely not as slim as new Jordan 4s. I can say that for sure. Outside of that, it's really not that much different. You know, back in that era, we did not get any Nike Air Jordan 4s. They were all with the Jumpman on the tongue and on the bottom. So you can see that. And obviously, this is the first Jordan 4 that had the removable Jordan Rare Air tongue patch on it. The first regular release one was the Toriello 4s that I had way back in the day, and I always loved wearing them like this. So it's nice that they're bringing this back, and obviously they're bringing it back on the Jordan 4 Rare Airs as well. So outside of that, you also had a different box because these were samples. They came with a sample tag. They came with the old school Jordan box from back in 2005. I want to say there was text that's supposed to be on the top and bottom, but I don't remember. I'd have to go into storage and pull out one of my old boxes, but this is more or less what the boxes looked like back then. This was them transitioning out of the Jordan Face box from the early 2000s. It also came with this lunchbox looking thing, which actually ends up being a traveling sack for the shoes, and that's actually pretty impressive. Sometimes I question why some replica manufacturers go out of their way to do stuff like this, and then they'll get the colors wrong on some basic stuff, but the original ones did come with all of this fanfare and packaging, so that is pretty cool that the reps came with that as well. You got your spare laces, came with green laced in, orange, and black. And a very, 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 very nice nubuck upper. You know, not like super premium, but very nice nonetheless. Feels good, sturdy shoe. So that's the 2006 Jordan 4 Undefeated. This is the 2025, and you can immediately see some differences right away. And let's just do them side by side like this. I think the first noticeable difference here is the use of high gloss on the wing tab and on the midsole paint right here, while it's very much so muted on the 2005 pair. You got a slight difference in color on the midsole as well. I'd say more or less the colors are the same. Maybe the 2025 pair is a little bit deeper of a green when it comes to the nubuck, and I kind of like it that way. but it looks very nice. You obviously have the netting that we talked about. This is a modern era Jordan 4 netting. And interestingly enough, while a lot of lower grade replicas use rubber netting on it, this does not use rubber, which is what authentic pairs look like. So that's impressive. Overall, the materials are definitely soft. The upper on the new pair feels a lot softer and more plush than on the 2005 pair. And the biggest difference outside of the gloss is that we have a Nike Air on the back, and it is a black plastic heel tab instead of a nubuck heel tab with the Jumpman. And you can kind of see that color difference side by side as well. So they definitely made some changes to the upcoming pair to differentiate them from the original. A lot of changes, honestly. You've got the old style Jumpman tag with the lollipop Jordan arm. And I got to tell you, this looks funny as hell, but this is how Jordan 4s of that era look like. He had a very skinny arm that looked like a lollipop was extending from it, while the newer pairs are a lot more defined and detailed, but you're also seeing that drastic color difference as well. This is more of a Nickelodeon orange, and this is more of like a pumpkin orange, if that makes sense. And you can see that same color difference in the back of the tongue as well. You see the tongue padding here is that brighter orange, and on the 2005 pair, it is a more muted orange. Look how much thinner that tongue is. It's crazy. Flipping over to the bottom, you obviously get the Nike Air on the bottom of this, and then a Jumpman on the other. You know, we know that there is a Jumpman pair that is releasing alongside these that are going to be a lot more limited. I wonder if they're going to look more like this than they look like this. Either way, I'm taking Nike over Jumpman all day, every day for modern shoes. I don't care. Another thing that I'm noticing is that you've got the internal colors that are a little bit different. You've got a much lighter charcoal gray on the sock liner and a lot more padding. And then you've got a narrower opening with a darker gray for the sock liner. Both have orange insoles, more muted on the 2005 pair, more vibrant on the 2025 pair. So we got 20 years apart. So that's interesting. There's a lot of differences, but a lot of, I guess, modern takes to it. You've got this satin finish on the tongue that was present on the 2005 pair, but I feel like the satin on the 2005 pair is a little bit softer and less vibrant and shiny, but still obviously an attempt to keep them similar. One thing that this new pair doesn't come with, I don't see any green laces on the 2025 pair. They do come with an orange lace, but the orange laces on the 2025 pair look drastically different than the 2005 pair. I gotta say, I think I prefer the muted orange of the 2025 pair, but the most disappointing part is no green laces. I like the way the green laces look on this, and it really adds a nice contrast to the rest of the shoe. So that's unfortunate, but you know, laces are things that you can buy. Obviously, another thing that comes with this is this new tag that didn't exist on the original, and the updated packaging. We've got more commemorative 05-25 20-year anniversary on the box. Again, very similar to the box of that era. You've got an official size tag that calls it the Air Jordan 4 OG SP Special Projects, deep green Clementine Black, while the 2005 pair says deep green Clementine Black WH, which is white, I'm assuming. You've got Undefeated paper, just like you'd expect from a collab, and you got this little postcard pamphlet to commemorate everything. So that's what you got side by side. They definitely made a lot of changes. I did not expect to see this drastic of a difference going from one to the other. I was collecting sneakers and I had plenty of Jordan 4s back in the day when these dropped, but I didn't remember how different the 2005 pairs were to the more modern pairs. We're definitely living a better life now, in my opinion, when it comes to Jordan 4s. They're a lot more comfortable. I will say that there's something about the 2005 pair that I like a little bit better though. I don't really love the glossy accents on the new pair. I think the muted ones look good. I think the muted paint looks good. I like shoes that don't stand out too much, and the Undefeateds just did everything correctly. The original ones just did everything a little bit better, in my opinion. Now, beggars can't be choosers, right? So I'm 100% getting the new pair. It's still going to be my favorite Jordan 4 of the year, but it was just interesting to see how different they are. So that pretty much wraps it up, guys. There's not much else to talk about. What do you guys think? Do you like the 2025 pair? Are you excited about the 2025 pair? Would you have preferred we got a modern version of the original pair that came out in 2005? Let me know in the comments. I'm really wondering what the Jumpman pair is going to look like. Is it going to be exactly this, but with just a Jumpman on the back? Or is it going to look more like 2005 pair? Only time will tell, guys, but I will definitely be getting a pair to do a real versus fake on this channel. I'm very excited about this, and I hope you guys are too. So that said, guys, remember you can find more pictures of the replica on the Instagram account that's going to pop up on the screen. Pay attention to the details, start learning now so that you don't make mistakes when release time comes. And remember, I've already made a video about the 2005 pair on my YouTube channel, so go search it up. Maybe I'll leave a link for it in the description so that you can watch it as well. But appreciate you guys for taking the time. That said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.